you bringing up your process made me think, how does digital manipulation affect your process? I mean, everybody's process, which I feel like it's more apparent in your work than someone like Tom's work.
Well, my problem is I get bored easy. I can't sit inside, more yellow, more green. I'll figure that out later. I want to go outside and shoot pictures. That's why we got 80,000.
Right.
I want to go outside and try something new and come in and see if it works on the computer. I like to crop a lot. I like to take out extraneous stuff or leave extraneous stuff in. I don't mind a photograph of you right here, a portrait of you, but I don't mind this white space over here reflecting the light coming in from the right side and what have you. But I like to crop. I was an editor. I cropped pictures.
Right.
You edited. You edited.
Yeah.
No, I found that I spend far too much time at the computer, but I can only work from about 11:30 at night to 2 or 3 in the morning, because it's the only time that you're not disturbed by the phone call or the question or the something else. And when you're passionately creating, when you have to do something, you cannot say, answer the phone or where is the sock that's missing from the drawer? You have to be deep into it. And so I find that very fabulous until something happens technologically with the computer. And then, my goodness, it is the opposite of fabulous. It is.
But I take issue with the phrase manipulation.
Right.
Go on.
Because there's just an implied concept, when you say manipulation, it's the implication that it's something sort of underhanded or on the sly, artificial, and so on. All photography is manipulation.
It's always been, even print photography, especially black and white, and the chemicals and all, it was all manipulated. Technically. But now we have the digital world and we use that term, and sorry if we're a little defensive.
My answer to that is, damn it, you're an artist. You can do what you want with it. I mean, did you complain to what's his name over there, Dan Young, for putting in too much wheat on that field?
He manipulated that, didn't he?
That wheat
And it
field
wasn't
was
that color anyway, was it?
that wheat field wasn't cut that way. It was cut the other way.
But we're fine.
Right. But I think this is a holdover from the days of more realistic photography. But unfortunately, most people don't understand the history of photography. And if you go back into many of the early days of photography, things were highly manipulated.
Well, right, and you brought that up earlier with the full moon, and Ansel Adams even did it too.
Who was the person that jumped out of the window, the famous photographer? I never remember any names. He had posed somebody like it was a jump, but it was actually pre-planned. There were people catching him. There were mattresses,
I don't remember.
the whole thing, and everybody thought 1920s
photographer.
French photographer.
Well, there's a famous photograph of Churchill that everybody has run and has run forever. It was taken by Kirsch, and I got his book, and I met him and his daughter, not him. Churchill was fighting the war, and they said, we must have a new photograph of you. And he said, I haven't got time for stupid photograph. He said, well, we'll set it up, and you must give us 1 minute. So he Kirsch set up his cameras and his lights and everything, and Churchill, madder than hell, came down and sat in a chair with a cigar in his mouth. And Kirsch had the cameras all set up, went over, grabbed a cigar in his mouth and took the picture. And the startled look on Churchill's face is what you have in that famous photograph of Churchill.
Right.
And he took a cigar back and left in a huff. Well, that was the photograph. So the point is, you got to be ready, you got to be creative. The three of you are more creative than I am. I just shoot lots of them. Maybe something happens.
Not really. For me, I wanted, ideally, my idea was to keep the piece original, but as an art, maybe the field wasn't that golden or yellow. You kind of want to get it to what you imagine it might be. And for my pieces, as old as they are and dirty and dusty, sometimes I adjust the color to bring it almost back to perhaps what it was originally. So they may be a little brighter colors, a little more vibrant, and sometimes I play with it more, but my idea was to keep it pure, trying, but then it's kind of fun to, see what else can happen, and you realize any artist adjust what they're viewing, whether they're doing a charcoal, a pen and ink drawing, they adjust. It's their perception, and then they create their perception on the canvas. And we do the same thing with photography, whether we use Lightroom or whatever software we may use, and then the value of the digital camera to help us.
Right.